Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Bai Lu. Let you take care of your child. Can you play DVDs at the age of 5? Chen traveled through parallel worlds and became Bai Lu's husband. He and his daughter are both intellectually rebellious. He went out with his wife and children and was secretly photographed by paparazzi. The two decided to make their relationship public. Chen and his 5-year-old daughter participated in the second season of being the father of the family. Talent performance segment. When Fang's 5-year-old daughter was wearing leather pants and a duckbill cap, Bai Lu's scalp was numb when she started playing dishes. Bai Lu. Chen, is that how you usually teach children? Chen. Oh, the child learned it himself. Mario. Great, my grandfather bought me a camel. Xueer. Camels are not fun, it's better for my family's big gold gradually to masturbate. Grandpa Mario. Son of songs, this is not worth buying. Lock. My dad is the world lock dance champion. Xueer. My father has great power and is currently researching the method of wielding swords and flying immortals. Chen quickly covered the girl's mouth. Don't believe in childlike innocence. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The Man Behind Bailu. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Blue Star, Magic City. Shishan High.end Villa area. Mr. Ye, just now Ma Yun from Ali Group called. He said that the central bank has agreed to his application. The current Sifubo no longer has an actual controller. A butler with white temples looked respectful. Reporting to the young man. Chen nodded slightly. Fingertips tapping on the table. Well, he finally woke up. It's not too late either. The old man nodded in agreement on the side. If he had listened to his master 2 years ago, he wouldn't have ended up in his current situation. The words were full of admiration for Chen. Then, the old man said again. Ma Yun asked me to give you a message. He has reserved 5% of Ant Financial's shares for you in order to thank you for pointing out the way. I also want to find an opportunity to treat you to a meal. Look. Chen refused without hesitation. Han Bo, you should know how to do it. The old man quickly nodded. I know Mr. Ye has never liked to be exposed to the public. Chen's low-key demeanor was clear to him. His net worth far exceeds 1 trillion yuan. The true face is rarely known to people. Is this something that ordinary people can do? I'll go reject him now. After Han Bo leaves. Chen leaned back on the chair to take a nap. 3 years ago, Ma Yun was still full of energy. Attempting to apply for listing on the Science and Technology Innovation Board of Ant Financial Services, which was created by oneself. It's ridiculous to say that Ant Financial is clearly a financial company. But ready to put on the cloak of technology. It is not an exaggeration to say that once Ant Financial successfully goes public, the financing scale will exceed several trillion yuan. Not only will the asset size of the group reach up to 5 trillion yuan. Ma Yun's value will also make another leap. In order to facilitate this listing, Ma Yun's team doesn't know how much effort has been put into it. I thought everything would go very smoothly. However, it was blocked by the China Securities Regulatory Commission's order to terminate the IPO. For a moment, people in Ali Group were in a state of panic. Ma Yun was even pushed to the forefront of the controversy by this incident. There are endless discussions about Sifubo and Ant Jinfu. Ma Yun, who has always been high-profile, has changed her past style. Started playing and disappeared. 2 years ago, Ma Yun contacted Chen through various channels. I want to ask Chen how to take his next path. At that time, Chen only replied to him with 8 words. Ma Yun moves backwards, Ants move forward. From then on, Chen never paid attention to this matter again. Unexpectedly, today I learned about Ma Yun's concession. This result will naturally not escape Chen's expectations. After all, he is a mysterious existence known as Bai Shaoxing in the martial arts world. Above this blue star, nothing can make him feel strange yet. In fact, Chen is a reborn person. More than 20 years ago, he was reborn on the blue star. In this life, he has an incredible understanding. After more than 10 years of operation and development, his influence has already spread all over the world. Despite the endless amount of personal assets. But he himself was unusually low-key. All information is perfectly hidden. In this world, only a few people know his identity. Just as Chen was about to fall asleep. But his phone rang. The incoming call is displayed as Teacher Wang from the kindergarten. Chen answered the phone and said, "Hello, Teacher Wang." "What?" "Xueer fell asleep again in class. I'll come over now." 10 minutes later, Chen arrived at Ximen Kindergarten. This is the top kindergarten in the Magic City. It is also the place where his daughter Xueer is going to school. Ximen Kindergarten is a truly aristocratic school. Just the security guard at the entrance earns a daily salary of over 1,000 dragon coins. After all, these are all elites who have been discharged from the military. Step into the interior of the kindergarten. When he arrived at the classroom door, seeing Teacher Wang educating his daughter. Xueer is 5 years old and is carved with powder and jade. A pair of big eyes pure and bright. At first glance, it looks like a porcelain doll. Teacher Wang quickly noticed the arrival of Chen. "Mr. Ye, you need to take good care of your daughter. It's only been 5 days since the start of school, and on the first day she behaved quite well. But for the next 4 days, she went to bed as soon as she arrived for class. If it continues like this child will really be useless." Mr. Wang's roast embarrassed Chen. "Xueer, what's going on?" Chen pretended to be serious and looked at his daughter. "Dad, I know everything the teacher says. And they don't even allow me to read extracurricular books in class." Chen was puzzled. "Extracurricular books? Here, it's the advanced analytic geometry you bought me." Xueer raised her small hand slightly, pointing to a book not far away. Upon hearing this, Chen's face showed embarrassment. He quietly looked at Teacher Wang at this moment. I saw the other person's mouth twitching unnaturally. Obviously, Xueer was quite angry. Chen sighed. This book was indeed bought by him for his daughter. I just didn't expect it. But this girl stuffed it into her backpack and took it to school. Subsequently, he put away this book on analytic geometry. Look at Teacher Wang on the side. The other person's face had already turned pale. "Mr. Ye, listen and see for yourself. This child started talking nonsense even when he was so young. Analyzing geometry, is this what she sees at her age? Other people's children are still learning pinyin to lay a foundation. You too, buy college textbooks for a 5-year-old child. Aren't you just fooling around? Listen to Mr. Wang's roast." Chen was also very helpless. He can't explain now. You can't tell the teacher the truth about things, can you? As early as 1 year after the birth of my daughter. Chen had already clearly felt it. Perhaps influenced by oneself. This little girl's intelligence can be described as exaggerated. Extremely complex things for children of the same age. She often learns quickly. In addition, Bai Lu is busy with work, so she doesn't have much time to take care of her children. It's difficult for Chen to take care of his daughter on his own. He has a mentality of killing time for his daughter. I bought a lot of textbooks. Who knew this girl really caught her eye? When she was just over 4 years old, she had almost mastered all the knowledge in high school. Nowadays, this book on advanced analytic geometry. It is also the textbook she is currently studying. I finally managed to handle Teacher Wang. Only then did Yi Chen walk out of the teaching building with his pink-carved and jade-carved girl. Silly girl, what did Dad tell you? Keep a low profile in school. Even if you know more than the teacher, pretend you don't understand. Yi Chen quietly educated Yi Xueer. As soon as they came out of the building, they heard someone discussing excitedly. Amazing melon, have you eaten it yet? Little red flower and white dew, surprisingly already married. Ah! Don't scare me. The paparazzi have already leaked information, can there still be any fakes? Not only that, they also have children around them, as if they have a daughter. Can't you? My goddess got married. I don't believe it, Bai Lu is only in her 20s. She is at the peak of her career, how could she possibly marry a daughter? Chapter 2. Dad in Charge Season 2 premieres, featuring Bai Lu as the male lead. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Bai Lu is currently one of the top female stars in the Dragon Kingdom. She relied on her straightforward personality and exquisite appearance. Attracted countless otaku men. Even many girls are her fans. Are you saying that Bai Lu is married? This news has spread. Out of 10 people, there must be 11 who don't believe it. Yi Chen passed by several people. He naturally heard the voices of everyone's discussion. This made his footsteps slightly slow. Dad, were those people talking about Mom just now? The little girl asked curiously. Don't worry too much about adults' affairs, children. Yi Chen and Yi Xueer walked quickly out of school. Then he took out his phone. I quickly saw a hot search on Weibo headlines. Bai Lu's hidden marriage, traveling with mysterious man and girl #explosive. At the beginning of the hot search, it was clearly a photo. The white dew in the photo is quite clear. Bai Lu, dressed in white T-shirt jeans, has a graceful figure. A beautiful figure cannot be concealed at all. She tightly wrapped her hands around the man beside her. The man is about 1.85 meters tall. Although it's just a silhouette. But it can also be seen that their body proportions are excellent. The man still held a pink-carved jade-carved daughter in his arms. Yi Chen could tell at a glance. This is not the same as last night, the scene of oneself taking his wife and children to eat spicy hot pot. He had a helpless expression on his face. 5 years have passed, have we finally been discovered? In this lifetime, Yi Chen and Bai Lu were childhood sweethearts. 5 years ago, he just married Bai Lu. At that time, Bai Lu had not yet turned red and purple. They gave birth to a precious daughter back then. Over the past 5 years, Bai Lu's career has also been getting better and better. Yi Chen protected Bai Lu. I have never publicly disclosed my relationship with them. I didn't expect to be secretly photographed by paparazzi last night. If this hot search goes viral, Bai Lu's image will definitely be affected. I'm afraid Bai Lu's little hand will leave a few marks on herself tonight. At the same time, he was thinking to himself. Should we use some means? Suppress this news. Yi Chen has many connections in the field of online media. A few days ago, Weibo CEO Wang Gaofei wanted to meet him once. However, Yi Chen did not agree. Believe him, if he raises this matter with the other party. Such a small request. The other party must be in a hurry and also need help. However, that would inevitably make Bai Lu suspicious. In recent years, even Bai Lu didn't know how terrifying Yi Chen's energy was. He also doesn't want to easily show it to Bai Lu. This can easily make her feel stressed. Not yet waiting for Yi Chen to make a decision. The ringtone of the incoming phone rang. On the caller ID, the word wife is displayed. Pulling my daughter to an open place. He answered the phone. Hello, wife. On the other side of the phone, a sweet voice rang out. Yi Chen, have you watched the news? We were secretly filmed when we went out for dinner last night. There was still a hint of anxiety in Bai Lu's voice. Yi Chen nodded slightly. I just saw it too. What are you planning to do? Bai Lu let out a faint sigh. Actually, we should have anticipated this day long ago. After a pause, Bai Lu continued. Since all the photos have been taken, it's useless to explain. How about? Let's take advantage of the situation and make it public. Upon hearing Bai Lu's proposal, Yi Chen smiled slightly. Sure, what do I need to do? Yi Chen's words made Bai Lu very heartwarming. Wait for my message, my team is figuring out a solution. Okay. After Yi Chen hung up the phone, his thoughts surged. Over the past 5 years, Bai Lu has become increasingly busy with her career. I spend less time with myself and my daughter. Now their relationship has been exposed. It can also be considered a good thing. Xueer, let's go home with Dad. Yi Chen returned home with his daughter. Half an hour later, Bai Lu sent a text message. Husband, can you take us Xueer to participate in the program Dad's Home together? After seeing the news, Yi Chen searched for program information. When understanding the situation of this program, Yi Chen was actually a bit hesitant. After all, appearing on the show means he has to be exposed to the public. This makes him, who has always been low-key, somewhat uncomfortable. Just as Yi Chen was entangled, Bai Lu sent another message. Husband, just think of it as helping me. We should be able to minimize the impact by participating in this program together. Bai Lu's tone was somewhat pitiful. Yi Chen ultimately couldn't bear it. So he replied to Bai Lu, sure. Bai Lu was pleasantly surprised when she saw Yi Chen agree. Okay, the program will start broadcasting in 3 days. Someone will come to our house to shoot in the early stage. After discussing some details, the two hung up the phone. In the next 3 days, Yi Chen did not idle either. Since my daughter is not honest in kindergarten, he simply took a 6-month leave of absence for him. It's also a good opportunity to take this girl to have more contact with the outside world, so that she can understand. She is actually very different from others. 3 days passed in an instant. On this day, the second season of Dad's Home officially began broadcasting. This program was filmed in the form of live streaming. The main live streaming scene is divided into several areas. Several program hosts will record in the studio. As for the early stage, each family will spend their time at their own home. Every family also has professionals conducting live broadcasts. Not long after, the live broadcast room where the host was located opened. Due to the high popularity accumulated in the first season of the program. Wait until this season's live broadcast starts. Tens of thousands of viewers quickly flooded into the live broadcast room of the program team. Finally started broadcasting. I've been waiting for a year. I don't know which cute little babies will participate this year. Have you heard of it? It seems that there are heavyweight figures among the guests this time. What heavyweight figure? You saw about Bai Lu's hidden marriage a few days ago, didn't you? Of course I did. Paparazzi revealed that she got married and had a daughter. But it seems like she hasn't come out to clarify. It's strange. What's strange about this? If we don't clarify, it proves to be a fact. Upstairs is a smart person. I heard through the grapevine that she will participate in this season's father's leadership. Ah. No, you mean Bai Lu also wants to participate in this program. Does it mean that my goddess really married a daughter? For a moment, barrage of bullets flooded in the live broadcast room. Exquisitely dressed hostly AI came to the camera. She warmly greeted the camera. Welcome to the second season of Dad in Charge. We will adopt a full live broadcast format for this season. Now let me introduce the hosting team for the second season to you. Under the introduction of Li Ai, Li Qingxian, Xueer, and Wei Chen appeared one by one. After introducing the host team. Next, several groups of families appeared. During this period, the number of people in the live broadcast room also continued to rise. Chapter 3. What is this fairy daughter, with countless adorations? You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Wei Chen is so handsome, truly my idol, I love Xueer, it's becoming more and more charming. Doesn't anyone think my family's Qingxian is also very handsome? Generally speaking, I don't feel much. I'm looking forward to several groups of families this season and want to see what kind of life they are all living. Most netizens are praising the appearance of the host team. In addition, there are also many people looking forward to the upcoming guest appearances. Li Ai smiled and faced the camera. A pretentious and mysterious opening. Let me reveal it to everyone in advance. There will be unexpected surprises in our second season guest team. Li Ai's words sparked the audience's imagination. Ah! Is there really a Bai Lu family? Damn it, is this too exciting? No wonder Bai Lu hasn't responded. So she's holding back a big move. I really want to see who stole my goddess. Bai Lu is still so young, why did she get married? Married the guy from Bailu, did he save the world in his previous life? Sigh, I envy you so much. There was a heated discussion in the live broadcast room. The highlights of this program. The key is the cute and well-behaved cute children. Those exquisite and lovely little treasures one by one. It always gives netizens a feeling of cloud parenting. If paired with a clumsy dad. It is also inevitable to give people a warm and somewhat absurd and funny feeling. Especially after hearing about the addition of the Bai Lu family. The enthusiasm of netizens is like fire. The first to appear is our veteran from the first season. With Li Ai's introduction. The camera switches to the homes of Xueer and Gupeihao. Xueer faced the camera, beaming with joy. Hello, we're meeting again. Locke, Yuner, let me say hello to everyone. The fans of Xueer's family are all cheering. Locke, Yuner, my baby. Oh my god, Yuner has long hair, it's so beautiful. This is simply a fairy. It seems like there are such a pair of handsome and lovely children. Brother Xiao is so handsome again when Gupeihao and his family appear. The popularity among netizens is also quite high. After all, their family also has a bunch of cute children. Xiaomi is simply a beautiful embryo. Xiaobao is the cutest, he already knows how to speak. With the appearance of the two first season veterans. The enthusiasm of the audience has once again risen. More than 500,000 viewers have gathered in the live broadcast room. Next, it's the appearance of Ma Yang and his son. The cute and playful Mario is paired with the rugged and handsome Ma Yang. It immediately attracted many young fans. A brief self-introduction. It has already made many viewers cheer. Wow, this dad is so handsome and masculine. This mustache is too sexy. Love me so much. Mario has adorated me. I really want to hold her in my arms. He is truly a man from Xinjiang province, with excellent quality. After the Ma Yang family. It's time for Guangxing's family to appear. With two ponytails tied, the cute and soft three-up appeared. Instantly attract countless fans. The whole screen was filled with a frenzy of ant fans. At this point, 4 groups of families have appeared. This is also all the guest members who were leaked through the grapevine before the start of the program. However, the live broadcast camera has not yet stopped switching. In the host's live broadcast room, Li Ai and his companions also wore a mysterious smile on their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't blink. Next is our 5th group of families. Accompanied by Li Ai's voice falling. The live broadcast camera has been successfully switched. A private villa is reflected in the camera. Let the audience in the live broadcast room feel suffocated. The overall color of this villa is light. The interior of the villa is densely covered with green plants. At the entrance, there is a hardened stone parking space. There is also a spacious indoor garage next to it. Just looking at its size, it's not a problem to stop 4 or 5 cars. After roughly scanning around the villa, the camera. Then it lingered on a beautiful figure. When the audience fixed their eyes on it, they were all shocked. Omega, is it really Bai Lu? This is Bai Lu's villa. I'm going crazy. Bai Lu is really here. Bai Lu is so beautiful. When I think of her getting married, I feel like the world is not very interesting anymore. Bai Lu's house is too luxurious, isn't it? This villa is at least over 1,000 square meters, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, this should be the Xishan Villa area in the Magic City. What? It's actually the demon capital of Xishan. The price per square meter is 50,000 dragon coins, over 1,000 square meters, and it's worth 60.70 million yuan, right? What's so surprising about this? Bai Lu has been thriving in recent years, so it's still affordable to buy a villa, right? Strangely speaking, what does Bai Lu's man do? Definitely not a member of the industry, wouldn't it be a business person? It's really okay for those who do business, but I'm afraid they're just someone who eats soft food. Impossible, right? My fists are already hard, dare I eat my goddess's soft rice? The appearance of Bai Lu instantly ignited the live broadcast room. She is wearing light makeup and has a sweet and lovely appearance. Hello everyone, welcome to my house. Subsequently, the live broadcast camera followed Bai Lu. Go deep into the interior of the villa. When they arrived at the entrance of the villa, the audience's eyes lit up. I saw a fair-skinned, powder-carved porcelain doll standing at the door. This doll is playing with a Rubik's Cube in its hands. A fifth-order Rubik's Cube was played by this girl and flew up. After a dazzling array of operations, the completely disrupted fifth-order Rubik's Cube was completely restored within 10 seconds. This scene stunned over 400,000 viewers in the live broadcast room. I'm not mistaken, is she playing a 5th-level Rubik's Cube? The little girl looks like she's only 5 or 6 years old, isn't she? Even the 5th-level Rubik's Cube is so smooth. It seems like a little genius. By the way, I'm in my 20s and I can't even understand the 4th-level Rubik's Cube. Is that normal? The little girl seems very cute. I really want to see her face soon. Bai Lu didn't notice the movements of her daughter's hands. She gently picked up Xueer. Then I will introduce it to everyone. This is my daughter. Xueer, let me say hello to everyone. After Bai Lu finished speaking, Xueer waved to the camera. A smile also appeared on his face. Her smile instantly melted the netizens. Tianlulu, which fairy from that family fell into the mortal world? The goddess really has a daughter, and she's so beautiful. I swear, this is the most beautiful child I have ever seen. It's so cute that it's not worth it in this comparison. Xiaomi and Sanchi seem to be a bit inferior, not just inferior, it's not even of the same level. I really doubt whether a normal person can give birth to such a beautiful baby. Did you deceive me into giving birth to a daughter again? Xueer, come to Aunt's arms quickly and give her a hug. In Chapter 4, I admit he was a bit handsome, but ultimately. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The appearance of Xueer made the live broadcast room instantly boil. Countless or envious barrage. In an instant, the entire screen was covered. Dad is the director of the 2nd season in the studio. Director Ai Qing's face lit up with joy. As soon as Bai Lu and her daughter appeared, our traffic skyrocketed. It seems that the bet this time is right. The crew members on the side were also congratulating. The director is wise, this trick worked. It seems that our program will soon become popular again. Bai Lu finished greeting everyone with her daughter. She smiled at the camera. I'm sure everyone is also curious about when I got married. I have to introduce my husband to everyone. After Bai Lu finished speaking, she turned her head and shouted towards the room. Husband, come quickly. Bailu's husband shouted out. The live broadcast room is filled with heartbreak. So, love will disappear, right? I heard the goddess calling her husband, but unfortunately she was calling another man. Jealousy makes me ugly. I want to see what this man has. How could he have Bai Lu and have such a beautiful daughter? After a moment, Chen heard a sound. He walked out of the room with steps. At this moment, in the live broadcast footage, a slender figure walked away from the darkness. When Chen arrived at the door, the camera finally captured his appearance. Today, Chen dressed very casually. A loose-fitting white T-shirt. A pair of cropped jeans with a drawstring. He is 1.85 meters tall. Set this dress up perfectly. What is even more shocking is Chen's face. Under the soared eyebrows of Ting, there was a pair of sparkling starry eyes. Under the tall bridge of the nose, there are thin lips. This face is so perfect that it makes people feel dazed. Suddenly, it looked like an artificial model. No one can pick out any faults. In just a short moment, the live broadcast room quieted down. Most of the full-screen barrage disappeared. The cameraman in charge of filming was stunned. After more than 10 seconds, everyone finally came to their senses. Sleeping slot, is it so handsome? I seem to understand why their daughter looks so beautiful. Why am I starting to envy Bailu a bit now? Why are there such handsome men in the world? This face is too great, isn't it? How could the gap between people be so big? I admit I'm sour. What kind of immortal appearance does this family have? The live broadcast room was filled with awe. The photographer took a considerable amount of effort to come to his senses. Chen showed no fear when facing the camera. This is my husband, his name is Chen. We got married 5 years ago. Bai Lu faced the camera and calmly introduced herself. At the moment when Bai Lu confessed, the number of viewers in the live broadcast room increased. As the news ferments, more and more people are flocking to the live broadcast room of the program. At this moment, even the live streaming server showed signs of crashing. The director of the production team, AI Ching, quickly ordered. At all costs, immediately add new servers. If there is an interruption in the live broadcast, the technical department should stop working. With the director's order, the technical personnel of the program team quickly made up for the situation. Thanks to their efforts, several new servers were finally connected. This is what stabilizes the live broadcast image. In the host's live broadcast room, several hosts are also watching several families through the live broadcast camera. When they saw Chen appear, everyone also widened their eyes. When seeing the appearance of Chen clearly, Ai couldn't help but slightly open her mouth. As for Xueer, she appears very direct. Mom, is Bailu's husband so handsome? Xueer's exclamation brought many people back to their senses. Chen also had to admit it at this time. Indeed, he is so handsome. Even I, as a man, have been amazed. Xueer's eyes are flowing. I haven't seen such a handsome guy for a long time. Ai on the side was also surprised by Chen's appearance. But she still whispered a reminder. Brother Xiao Chun may watch our program. Sisters, please stop. After being reminded, Xueer, not only does it not converge, but it becomes even bolder. He doesn't know how to look, even if he does. I'm just expressing my appreciation. Xueer's bold statement also made the other few people laugh out loud. However, they have long understood Xueer's temperament. I didn't feel too surprised about this either. But then again, I quite admire Bai Lu. Being able to marry such a good husband, I dare to bravely disclose it after being exposed. Xueer's words made the others nod slightly. To be honest, when they learned that Bai Lu was going to participate in this program with her husband and children, everyone almost had their chins startled. Everyone is from the entertainment industry. Everyone is aware of Bai Lu's current situation. She only needs to reveal the truth about being married and having children. You will definitely suffer a fatal blow in your career. Even many people in the industry are speculating. Bai Lu may choose to continue hiding in order to maintain her career. But in front of such a solid hammer. Even if she wants to conceal it, it is inevitable that she will feel a bit pale and powerless. At the peak of their career, it was revealed that they were married and had children. This is a fatal blow for any female star. It is precisely because of this that everyone greatly admires Bai Lu's courage. While the host is discussing, the live broadcast has been ongoing. A video clip of Bai Lu introducing her husband. It also spreads continuously with live streaming. When netizens saw Chen and Xueer appearing on camera, they were all stunned. It's just that the immortal faces of this father and daughter are too rebellious. It has aroused a strong sense of envy among ordinary netizens. The difficulty of calming down has dissipated a lot. Even many otaku fans of Bai Lu have to admit it. Chen's basic conditions are more than enough to match Bai Lu. However, there are still some kind-hearted people who have noticed. When introducing Chen, it seems that Bai Lu did not mention his profession. This also makes many people curious. I admit, Chen is very handsome, but for men, being handsome is not the most important thing. What you said upstairs is right, men still need to value talent more. No matter how handsome you are, if you don't have the ability, at most it's just a vase. Bai Lu didn't even introduce it. Can Chen not be an unemployed person? Can we say he's a full-time dad? Ah. A full-time dad means, little white face, suddenly feeling unworthy for Bai Lu. Can you accumulate some oral virtues? How do people live their lives and what does it matter to you? Although that's the case, it's not entirely appropriate for a man to be a housewife. Chapter 5. Solving the super difficult Luban lock in seconds, is it difficult? You are listening at novel full.audio. Chen naturally couldn't see the discussion among netizens at this moment. In fact, even if he sees it, he would only smile at it. The jealousy of these viewers. He doesn't care at all. As the introduction of 5 families is completed, the program is gradually getting back on track. In the host's live broadcast room, Ai smiled and said, the 5 families have already been introduced. Next, we will simultaneously start live streaming for 5 households. In daily live broadcasts, tasks are assigned to each family. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. As Ai's words fell, the live broadcast rooms of 5 families have been opened simultaneously. Netizens can switch at any time. At the same time, they can also check the replay after the live broadcast ends on the same day. Quang Sheng and Ma Yang's family. Mom is explaining the precautions for taking care of the child to her husband. After all, both of them are considered beginners in watching the baby. Meanwhile, in Chen's live broadcast room, the number of viewers has been consistently high. Even if there are other live streaming rooms that are diverted, their audience has always been over 200,000. When Bai Lu learns that she will meet other mothers tomorrow, she had no worries at all. After all, their daughter has always been taken care of by Chen. It's impossible for any accidents to occur. Bai Lu's performance has made netizens keenly aware. Chen probably did as they guessed. I don't have a job myself, I just take care of my children at home. After realizing this, many people have a slightly lower impression of Chen. It seems that Chen is really a full-time dad. Ah. So what exactly did Bai Lu like about him? Does he have any other strengths upstairs? It's best for you to speak seriously. Stop making noise. With Xueer's beautiful daughter, what about full-time childcare? At this moment, Xueer felt a bit bored. She lay on Chen's lap. Speak with a milky voice. Dad, it's so boring. Chen pinched his daughter's small face. Then doting on the towel. Didn't I buy you some toys? I arrived 2 days ago, you can pick it up and play with it yourself. Upon hearing this, Xueer immediately became energized. She flipped over and fell to the ground. Then quickly run towards the place where the parcels are stacked. Not long after, she ran back with a delivery box. Then she sat on the blanket. I am unpacking the package in my hand. The little girl held a paper cutter and easily cut open the express package. Wait until she empties out the contents of the package. A pile of strangely shaped wooden blocks fell out. These wooden blocks have some strange grooves and protrusions on their heads. The program director captured this behind the scenes. Adjust the live broadcast screen. Quickly aimed at Xueer. At this time, several live streaming cameras had already been installed in Chen's home. The guide can remotely control which scene to play. When Xueer appears on the screen, netizens all cheer up. The little girl is playing with these toys on her own. What is Xueer holding in her hand? Why haven't I seen it before? Something like a building block. What building blocks? This is clearly a Luban lock. It seems like it still looks like the one with high difficulty. Ah! What is Luban lock for? I have bought this puzzle toy from Xueer before, which is really brain-burning. It took me over a month to develop it. Ah! It took adults a month to spell it out. Wouldn't it be a bit difficult for a 5-year-old girl? It's not just a bit difficult. If I remember correctly, this Luban lock has a total of 24 components. Finally, it needs to be pieced together into a soccer ball shape, with a top-notch brain-burning effect. Let me put it this way. This difficulty level, not to mention a 5-year-old child, even a teenager may not be able to solve it. Everyone just have fun. Xueer probably just wants to play. Amidst the discussion among netizens, the little girl is not idle either. Her little hands held various components. Bright eyes were constantly scrutinizing the shapes of various components. The delicate and beautiful eyebrows furrowed slightly. She glanced at the final shape of the assembled Luban lock. Something like a football. Then her little mouth never stopped. Like silently muttering something. Netizens have also noticed it. The little girl's mind was clearly thinking about something. So cute, Xueer doesn't really want to piece it together, does she? Although she knew she would fail, she was still adorable. Is that how Chen takes care of her children using the Luban lock to trick children? It would be strange if the child could try it out without a year and a half. This is simply the laziest way to take care of children. In the roast voice of netizens. After reviewing all the components, Xueer. The little girl's little hands move very quickly. Start categorizing each component directly. 24 components were divided into 3 areas by her. After dividing the area, she immediately got busy. She held 2 components in her hand. Through a special angle of fit. With a click, the 2 components seamlessly joined together. Then she didn't stop at all. Pick up the next component directly and continue splicing. Not long after, 4 or 5 components were pieced together. When netizens saw this scene, they were all somewhat surprised. Xueer's movements are too skillful. It's like this Luban lock is the simplest building block. But they didn't think much about it either. This high-difficulty Luban lock may be easy to spell at the beginning. Once it reaches the latter half of the journey, it is very likely that you will find that everything before was wrong. When the time comes, everything will be pushed down and everything will be redone. However, just as everyone thought, Xueer's splicing process will soon be hindered. The development of the matter exceeded everyone's expectations. Under the gaze of over 200,000 viewers in the live broadcast room, Xueer's movements can be described as flowing smoothly. She only spent a short 2 minutes. All 24 components were assembled and completed. During this process, there was even no jamming. Not even a single error occurred. When the little girl puts the assembled Luban lock on the ground, the live broadcast room fell into a eerie silence. Ward Fa. Why is this happening? Who can tell me what happened just now? Isn't it said that this Luban lock is super brain burning? Brother, just now, could you explain it? That kid is bragging. What top.level difficulty? I think it's just a kid's toy. I feel insulted. Xueer's operation is too fast, I didn't even understand it. Brothers, I'm going to vomit blood. I'm not really lying. This Luban lock is really brain burning. If you don't believe it, you can buy it and try it out yourself. Dude, I understand you. I am a fan of Luban locks, and this one is indeed at the ceiling level of difficulty. P.S. Forgot to ask for data, the first day data is extremely important. Dear readers, please vote with flowers and evaluations, kneel down and thank you. Chapter 6. I am already 5 years old, not 3 or 4 years old. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If you don't understand, just shut up. Only knowledgeable people understand the difficulty of this Luban lock. That's right, even an experienced assembler cannot be as skilled as a little girl. Two of you, can you explain why a 5-year-old girl could just spell it out casually? After a brief silence, someone explained. There are two possibilities, either this girl is a genius, she not only has super strong memory ability, but also has very strong spatial architecture ability. Why don't I believe what you said? A 5-year-old girl is so mysterious as you said. Another possibility is that this little girl has assembled this Luban lock many times before. That's right, with her rich experience, she was able to achieve such fluency. This is quite possible. The process of the little girl assembling the Luban lock is too casual. It's as simple as playing house. This makes everyone feel a bit uneasy. They are really hard to imagine. A Luban lock that is extremely difficult for adults. Why would a 5-year-old girl randomly crack it? Is there really such a genius in the world? In the end, they reached a consensus. Everyone believes that Xueer is definitely not the first to come into contact with this Luban lock. Only in this way can their confusion be explained. After calming down one's inner emotions, they looked at the ongoing live broadcast. I saw Xueer assembling this set of Luban locks. It seems a bit bored again. There is still a hint of helplessness on the little face. Then, she wrinkled her nose and turned her head away. Dad, the toy you bought is too simple and not very interesting. Can't you buy me something fun? Once this statement is made, the live broadcast room fell into a eerie silence. How do I feel humiliated? In my opinion, this must be Bai Lu and her team helping their daughter establish a character. If you label your daughter as a genius so early, you're not afraid to cut through. Let's take a look before reaching a conclusion. I always find it a bit strange Xueer's words interrupted Chen and Bai Lu who were chatting. Two people walked over, one in front and one behind. Bailu glanced at the Luban lock on the ground. She doesn't quite understand what this is either. Just consider it an ordinary little toy. Xueer, what kind of toy do you want? Xueer thought for a moment and shook her head. I don't know either, the toys Dad bought are too simple. He treated me like a child. Bailu was shocked and said, isn't Xueer just a child? At this moment, the hosts happened to open the live broadcast room of Bailu's home. Hear Xueer's words. A group of hosts laughed. I couldn't help but say. Xueer is so cute. She seems very unwilling to admit that she is a child. Xueer smiled and nodded. Children always fantasize about becoming adults. In the live broadcast footage, Chen on the side heard this. He also knows, let the mother and daughter continue talking. I'm not sure what my daughter will say. So he simply took his daughter from Bai Lu's arms. Then a hint of helplessness appeared on his face. Because of my daughter's uniqueness. Chen always tries to consider the difficulty issue when buying toys. But even so. But still unable to satisfy Xueer. The little girl always blames him for buying things that are too simple. After thinking for a moment, he suddenly remembered. Apart from some puzzle games like Luban lock. I seem to have bought quite a few detective games myself. The reasoning game he bought this time has a good reputation. It is rumored to be produced by a top team. Crafted based on the long-standing unsolved cases that truly exist globally. These reasoning games aim to recreate the real reasoning process. Try to restore the details of all real cases as accurately as possible. In each case game prop bag, clues obtained by the police have been made into cards. It can be regarded as the most realistic detective and reasoning game. Due to its excessive brain burning. So much so that a situation of high and low scores was formed. Sales have never been very good. But when Chen saw these game introductions, he became excited all over. After all, these have been verified by the police of various countries for many years. Ensure cases with sufficiently high reasoning difficulty. Even some cases have not been resolved in reality to this day. So much so that some cases have no final answer. This level of brain burning is even seen by the geniuses who are best at reasoning games. I'm afraid I will also hesitate. It's not an exaggeration to say. This thing is much more brain burning than Luban lock. The most important thing is. The crime-solving game involves extremely complex clues and case analysis. If Xueer wants to play, it should allow her to spend a certain amount of time. As both beings with a rebellious nature, Chen naturally understood his daughter's psychology. People like them. The most anticipated thing is the exhilarating mental exercise. Because in everyday life, there is nothing that can fully mobilize their brain power. This is like a big man who is 1.8 meters tall. Trapped in a crib all day long. It always gives people a feeling of being unable to stretch. Chen thought of this and touched the little girl's head. Wait a minute, Dad has something you must like. Don't you think toys are too simple? I'll make it a bit harder for you this time. After speaking, he was ready to go and get those game props. However, at this moment, the staff of the program suddenly handed Bai Lu a card. The other party's action also temporarily stopped Chen's footsteps. I saw a line of words written on the card. Bai Lu has also recorded many variety shows. She naturally knew that this was the task card of the program team. After receiving the task card, Bai Lu slowly recited. In order to help the audience better understand all the little babies, please perform a talent show for everyone. After reading the content on the task card, Bailu, Chen was also drawn attention. He carried his daughter to the sofa. Then he sat down directly. His arm naturally embraced Bailu on the side. This scene made netizens almost jealous. However, most netizens are still quite rational. After listening to the task content read by Bailu, they also looked very excited. Is there a talent show right from the beginning? Wow, that's great. You can see the cute treasure's talent skills again. Goodbye everyone, I'm going to watch the street dance at Locke's home. I'll go too. The locking jump is so cool, that's it, regardless of Xiaoji's identity. The other babies probably don't have much talent, do they? I remember Xiaomi seems to be able to sing. It's normal for children to be young and lack talent. They're just cute enough. Talent performances have also started simultaneously in various live broadcast rooms. Many viewers coincidentally rushed into Xiaoji's live broadcast room. These people have a clear understanding in their hearts. Xiaoji is, after all, the world champion of lock dance. His son has been learning street dance with him since he was young. This can definitely be considered the ceiling of a few cute treasures. However, there are still some people left in the live broadcast room of Bailu's family. They also want to take a look. Is there any surprising talent in Xueer's cuteness? P.S. Looking for data, it seems like there is only collection and not a single data, and my mentality has collapsed. Chapter 7. Is terrible, this cotton jacket is a bit leaking. You are listening at novel full.audio. Wait until Bai Lu finishes reading the task card. She looked at her daughter happily. Baby, did you hear clearly just now? Next, it's up to you to perform your talents. I don't know if your dad usually teaches you anything. Just show off confidently and generously later. Bai Lu hugged her daughter. Gentle encouragement. Bai Lu has been really busy with work in recent years. Most of the child care matters were left to Chen. Regarding the matter of my daughter's talent, Bai Lu is really not very clear. Performing talent. What do you want to perform? Xueer pondered slightly. Originally, Bai Lu thought. My daughter may feel a bit timid when she hears about performing talent. After all, this is the psychology that a normal child would have. But unfortunately, after she finishes speaking, I didn't see any nervousness in my daughter. Anything is possible, such as singing, dancing, or playing musical instruments. It's best to have a talent that can surprise everyone. Bai Lu looked at her daughter with hopeful eyes. She also wants to see how Chen has educated her daughter. Xueer nodded thoughtfully at this moment. Then I saw the little girl happily agree. Mom, I know what to perform now. Finish speaking with a milky voice. The little girl slipped off Chen's body. Then she ran to a room around the corner. Listening to the sound, she seemed to be rummaging inside for something. Bai Lu felt a little curious upon seeing this. Husband, what is our daughter doing here? Chen shook his head slightly. I don't know, that's her miscellaneous room. On weekdays, not only does Chen buy a lot of things for his daughter. This girl can also place orders online herself. So Chen has something to do with the clutter room. He's really not quite sure. At the same time, netizens in the live broadcast room began to look forward to it. It looks like there's work to do. Xueer is great, she's not even afraid at all. It seems that Chen has educated the little baby quite well, at least in a dignified manner. Looking forward to seeing what talents the little angel has. Is it singing or dancing? No matter what it is, I love watching it while netizens are looking forward to it. The hosts are also following the live broadcast of the Bai Lu family. Although they also want to go see the lock dance. However, the director gave instructions backstage. Let them pay as much attention as possible to the Bai Lu family. The people present are also regulars of variety shows. They naturally knew in their hearts that the Bai Lu family had their own traffic. It can bring considerable assistance to the popularity of the program. Plus, Xueer is indeed cute. The hosts naturally did not switch between live streaming content. While expecting from multiple parties. The guide also switched the screen to the angle of Xueer's storage room. About 2 minutes later. Xueer finally walked out. But the first to appear was not the figure of the little girl. Instead, it is a set of seemingly complex machines. The machine is placed on a metal frame. Under the metal frame, pulleys are installed. As for Xueer, this little girl is pushing the metal frame behind her. When Xueer first left the room, she shouted, "Dad, come and help me quickly." Chen and Bai Lu's gaze converged. Both of them were slightly stunned. They didn't expect their daughter to come up with such a big object. Chen got up and walked over. It was only when he approached that he could see clearly. The thing my daughter pushed out is nothing else. Surprisingly, it's a complete set of DJ equipment. When Chen saw this scene, A sense of unease arose within him. "Girl, why are you pushing this thing out?" Chen asked in a low voice. "Performance skills." The little girl blinked her eyes. With an innocent expression on his face, he said. "Mom said she wanted to surprise people, didn't she?" At the same time as the father and daughter had a conversation. This device has already appeared in the live broadcast footage. At first, most people still had some doubts. But soon, when everyone saw the full picture of this equipment, everyone was stunned. What the hell, this is a DJ device. How could there be a DJ disc making device in a serious family? Tianlalu, I've discovered something amazing. It's not that Xueer misheard the task and thought it was for her dad to perform his talent, right? What do you mean, this device belongs to Chen? Otherwise, do you think a 5-year-old child would have this kind of thing? No, isn't it? Is Chen playing so wild? Humph, scumbag, it must be Bai Lu who is often busy with work, so Chen is playing around at home. Ah! Isn't this equivalent to being publicly executed now? Not to mention the audience in the live broadcast room. Even Bai Lu now stared at Chen with an unkind expression on her face. Although she didn't ask anything. But the look in it was all too obvious. It is clearly waiting for Chen to give a reasonable explanation. Chen was also speechless when he saw this scene. "Wife, this is what our daughter bought. I didn't even know there was a DJ device at home." After listening to Chen's explanation, Bai Lu's anger did not dissipate. Live broadcast room for program hosts. When they saw Xueer pushing a set of DJ equipment out, everyone was startled and their chins dropped. They never expected that things would develop to this extent. Wei Chen listened to Chen's explanation. He raised his forehead and gave an awkward smile. What a pale explanation. Xueer's fist has already tightened. I didn't expect Chen to be such a man. Li Qingxian also frowned tightly. I can't wash it clean now. Their daughter is only 5 years old, how could she possibly shop online on her own? That's right, and I still want to buy this kind of DJ device. It's not something that little girls like, is it? Whether it's netizens or program hosts. Everyone has always believed that. This set of equipment must have been bought by Chen. As for Xueer, she must have misunderstood the meaning of the program team. This girl launched this set of equipment, definitely to let Chen perform disc making. Unexpectedly, the cotton jacket leaked air. Faction pit father, but Chen deserves it too. With such a beautiful wife, he still plays so extravagantly. Is this considered a broadcast accident? I don't know how Chen will end up later. If I were Bailu, I would divorce him. Didn't you see that Bailu's face has turned green? She must be sulking too. Amidst the chatter of netizens, Chen said to Bailu again. Wife, this thing really isn't mine. I don't know when Xueer bought it home. After Chen finished explaining, Bailu rolled her eyes. I clearly didn't listen. Just when the atmosphere between the two became somewhat rigid. Xueer has already adjusted this set of equipment. Then she ran and brought a stool. After struggling to climb onto the small stool, her height was just enough to operate the equipment. Mom, I'm going to start performing now. Chapter 8. The whole network cries and begs, little angels don't look distorted. You are listening at novel.Audio. Xueer's childish voice. Bring everyone's gaze together. Even Bailu looked at her daughter with a surprised expression on her face. Not waiting for her to ask for a voice. I saw the little girl put on a pair of black leather pants from somewhere. Not only that, she also put on a duckbill hat for herself. Finally, put on the black headphones. The whole person began to enter a state. The little girl operated various buttons with her fingers. The dynamic music immediately echoed all around. In this rhythmic music, The little girl gradually found her state. Her eyes were slightly closed, and she held onto her earphones with one hand. The little mouth opened slightly, and the singing came out. I know we've come to the end of fate. Oh. 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 Next is a male voice in a piece of music. Let's say goodbye officially. I won't disturb you for the rest of my life. Subsequently, Ye Xueer continued to sing. You said you can never walk with the ends of the earth again. Give me one last gentle touch. Turning around without looking back. Ye Xueer's voice may be childish. But his singing skills are surprisingly strong. Every lyric is in tune. And the sound is also very penetrating. Paired with dynamic music, it is easy to pick up the rhythm of the audience. For a moment, Bai Lu actually felt. My daughter sings quite well. Her feet involuntarily began to beat the rhythm. The anger on his face was gradually dissipating. Although what Chen taught is a bit unreliable. At the very least, the results are still very significant. My daughter can have this kind of singing ability. It can also be considered a joyful thing. Wait until later and make a slight correction. Maybe we can still follow the path of a singer. After Ye Xueer showed her hand. The live broadcast room quickly began to boil. I'm not dreaming, is that Ye Xueer, who is only 5 years old, playing DVDs. Xueer's outfit is too stylish, isn't it? Oh my goodness, she managed to perfectly grasp the DJ's temperament, angel-like appearance, combined with skilled disc-making skills, this damn contrast, why do I love it so much? This is a 5-year-old child, how can they even play DVDs? Xueer's operation is simply more proficient than 10 years of female DJs. Is this the legendary little girl? Mom, I feel the aura of a senior sister on a 5-year-old girl. Am I a bit abnormal? Live broadcast room for program hosts. Everyone's expressions are carved out of the same mold. They all opened their eyes wide. I can't even believe what I saw. After several hosts confirmed Ye Xueer's operation, the scene fell into a eerie silence. In Ning Kaier's beautiful eyes, there was a hint of shock at first. But soon, the shock gradually turned into surprise. Xueer is so cool. At the age of 5, she can play DVDs and her singing voice is so beautiful. How on earth did she do it? Li Qingxian also regained his senses at this moment. He grinned and wanted to comment a few words. In the end, nothing was said. Wei Chen on the side spoke frankly. I have to say, I was amazed by Xueer's singing. Just. Li Ai took over the conversation. Are you trying to say that it's a bit weird for a 5-year-old girl to learn how to play DVDs? Wei Chen awkwardly smiled, as if he had agreed. The other hosts were also muttering in their hearts. Even if Ye Xueer's singing is very pleasant. But look at her actions and the way she dresses up. It is clear that I have received a lot of bad education since childhood. Alas, such a lovely girl, how could she have an out-of-tune dad? Li Ai couldn't help roast. Since Ye Xueer put on her headphones, she has been immersed in an extremely relaxed rhythm. Her young body is also constantly rhythmic with the music. Wait for a song. Ye Xueer took off her headphones and cheered towards the camera. Then she jumped off the bench and came to Yi Chen and Bai Lu's side. In just a few minutes, Ye Xueer conquered the audience with a DJ song. During this period, Bai Lu was particularly enjoying listening. If we exclude Ye Xueer's identity, we won't talk about it. This is indeed a lively performance show. The netizens in the live broadcast room watched it through the screen. But their shock was no weaker than Bai Lu's. Where is this a 5-year-old child? This is clearly my older sister in society, isn't it? Xueer is so amazing, she sang it into my heart. I am in the staircase classroom and can't help but raise my hand to follow the rhythm. What should I do if the teacher asks me to answer the question now? Fortunately, I didn't go to watch the lock and dance street dance. Street dance doesn't sound as exciting as a DJ. In this comparison, lock and lock street dance really doesn't have much meaning. From now on, Xueer will become my idol. Do I think it's not appropriate for children to learn how to play DVDs? That's right, playing DVDs belongs to subculture, so it's not appropriate for a 5-year-old girl to learn. Chen is really good, why can't we take our children to learn better? Don't let this angelic little girl become a little girl. Isn't it good for girls from all walks of life to learn some piano and guzheng skills? After all, it's just that being a father has a crooked belt. The audience was surprised by Xueer's singing skills. Many people are also blaming Chen. They ultimately feel it. Let the 5-year-old daughter go play DVDs. Chen's father is not very reliable. At this moment, Bai Lu naturally felt a bit the same. She first encouraged Xueer. My family's Xueer sings very well. Just now, Mom was all mesmerized by it. Upon hearing Bai Lu's praise, Xueer was also very happy. With a bright smile on his face. Immediately after, Bai Lu's words changed. But Xueer, what Mom wants to tell you is, playing DVDs and DJs, they're not suitable for children like you. Bai Lu's words seemed to be speaking to Xueer. But a pair of beautiful eyes were staring at Chen. If Dad teaches you this kind of thing again in the future, you have to tell Mom. Chen's face was ugly. Wife, this is really not what I taught. Bai Lu didn't pay any attention to him, just assumed he was defending. Subsequently, Bai Lu was determined not to let her daughter grow crooked. Start to coax Xueer gently. Baby, if you like singing, you can learn to play the violin. Or piano, guzheng, and so on, these are all very suitable for girls. In the live broadcast room, many people agreed with Bai Lu's words. Bai Lu's 3 views are very positive. A little girl can indeed learn these things, not only to cultivate her character, but also to cultivate a gentle temperament. If only Xueer had been raised by Bai Lu, she wouldn't have become a disc player girl. Speaking of which, I am very angry. Who is Chen? It doesn't seem like a serious person anyway. Xueer finished listening to her mother's words. She tapped her index finger on the forehead. Then the little mouth pouted. Mom, I know everything you say. If you want to listen, I can also perform it. Chapter 9. I also want to keep a low profile, but my mom won't let me. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xueer's voice is soft and sticky. She proudly raised her chin slightly. Mom, what do you want Xueer to perform? Xueer can do it. Bai Lu was stunned on the spot. Baby, are you saying that you can also play the piano and guzheng? Bai Lu's face was somewhat suspicious. I knew earlier that my daughter was only 5 years old. At a young age, having 1 or 2 talents would be great. How can a child from another family be versatile? Children from other families are at this age. It's good not to play with mud. In a moment of thought, Bai Lu gradually reacted. Then she crouched down. Gently tuck up the broken hair around my daughter's ear. Speak as gently as possible. Baby, you can't learn the bad habit of lying. It's okay if we don't, we can still learn in the future. Upon hearing these words, Xueer's small face showed some anxiety. She wants to say she really knows. But Bai Lu didn't give her a chance to interject. Piano and guzheng are not instruments that can be learned in a short period of time. But our Xueer is still young, you still have a lot of time. As long as you are willing to put in effort in the future, you will definitely be able to learn well. The more Bai Lu thinks, the more she feels. My daughter must be a good face. That's why she said she knows all these instruments. For the daughter's self-esteem driven thoughts. She can naturally understand. However, ultimately, it is necessary to teach children the correct values. Many people in the live broadcast room also have the same idea. Bai Lu's words are really good. Children should be educated like this. Xueer is already great. Learning piano and guzheng, like other instruments, already requires a lot of time. Xueer is still young, so it's normal for her to not know these instruments. However, it's best to start with instruments with extremely high limits from a young age. That's right, just like the piano masters nowadays, which one doesn't have the child's skill on them. I believe Bailu can also realize this and teach Xueer some real skills as soon as possible. Watching my mother still educating me. Xueer eventually became a bit impatient. She just wants to get rid of her mother's nagging as soon as possible. Mom, why don't you wait for a moment? As soon as Xueer finished speaking, she ran back to the miscellaneous room. Her speed is extremely fast. When running, the two ponytails fly backwards. The whole person is like a jumping elf. Upon seeing this, Chen naturally understood the little girl's thoughts. He said to Bailu at this moment, "Wife, please wait here for a moment while I go over and take a look." Others may find it difficult to believe the little girl's words. But Chen is different. In the years he has been with his daughter, I already saw it. This girl may be a bit out of tune in her work. But he has never told a lie. Since she claims to know those instruments, it's basically true. As for when the little girl learned it, Chen can guess without thinking. It must have been the little girl who self-taught based on some videos and online tutorials. Like their father and daughter with this kind of intelligence. Learning such instruments is not a difficult task. Ordinary people may need to practice these instruments day after day. Only then can one fully comprehend various skills. Thus, it becomes a muscle memory ingrained in the bones. But if Chen were to learn, he can comprehend all the playing techniques of any type of instrument within 3 days. In 3 days, all the skills will be mastered. At that time, I want him to play such instruments. He would definitely come up with it at his fingertips. Skilled enough to be like learning from birth. It was precisely when Chen realized that his daughter might really know these instruments. He needs to follow up and take a look even more. Helping the little girl remove the musical instrument is secondary. The key is still that he needs to find an opportunity to remind the little girl. You still need to restrain yourself when speaking and doing things later. Being too high profile is not a good thing. When Chen followed his daughter to the miscellaneous room, he saw it at a glance. In this 100 square meter miscellaneous room, various things are piled up. The items inside can be described as diverse. There are many of them. Even Chen doesn't know when this girl bought it. Watching Xueer pushing out a piano, Chen stepped forward to help. "Good daughter, you must listen to Dad. When we perform later, it's almost enough." Xueer heard Chen's words. She nodded thoughtfully. "Dad, I understand what you mean. Isn't it just low-key? I will try my best." Upon hearing this, Chen breathed a slight sigh of relief. Immediately afterwards, the father and daughter pushed the piano into the living room. When Bailu saw that there was indeed a piano, her eyes couldn't help but show surprise. I couldn't help but mutter in my heart. Does this little girl really know how to play the piano? The netizens in the live broadcast room were watching the piano. They all have similar ideas as Bailu. "Hey, does the little girl really have a piano? I thought she was just bragging." "No, can she really play?" "I'm a bit skeptical. After all, I'm only 5 years old, and being able to read music is impressive, but she even knows how to play DVDs just now." "Please, can playing the piano be compared to playing discs? The piano is an art, and playing it well requires at least 10 years of hard work." "You're right, but this little girl has admirable courage." After the piano is placed properly, Xueer patted the dust on her little hand. Then she sat solemnly on the chair. Turning his head to Bai Lu, he said, "Mom, which song do you want to listen to?" Bai Lu was blindfolded by her own daughter. Which song? How should we respond to this? Bai Lu has been busy with her career over the years. She doesn't quite understand piano music or anything like that. So when Xueer asked these words, Bai Lu was stunned. What surprised her at the same time was, when Xueer asked these words, she appeared extremely confident. It's like just casually saying a piece of music. She can just play it casually. This strong self-confidence. Surprisingly, it appeared on a 5-year-old girl. Is this world already so absurd? At this moment, Bai Lu really wanted to try and see if her daughter really had such a genius. Unfortunately, she has only heard a few piano pieces. Search in your mind. It seems that one can only think of the particularly famous Symphony of Fate. So she gritted her head and said, "You can play a Symphony of Fate for Mom." As soon as he said this, Chen's mouth twitched. He was supposed to keep his daughter low-key. Play a piano piece casually and get over this mess. But my own wife is better off. From the beginning, it was a Symphony of Fate. The most crucial thing is that the little girl is really ready to play. Even if Chen wants to stop it right now. It's already too late. At this point, Chapter 10 has become art. You are listening at novel full.audio. The current Bai Lu is not clear. How difficult is the Symphony of Fate in piano music? In fact, even letting her know is useless. After all, Bai Lu only knows this piano piece. Wait until Bai Lu speaks the Symphony of Fate. Several hosts all took a deep breath. Is Bai Lu so cruel to her daughter? Let's play the Symphony of Fate from the beginning. Poor Xueer, I'm afraid I'll be stumped now. Wei Chen and Li Chengxian are both singers. Both of them are very clear about the difficulty of the Symphony of Fate. Wei Chen touched his chin and said, directly making the Symphony of Fate a bit excessive. Li Chengxian continued his conversation. That's right, I once learned the piano, and the piano teacher at that time personally told me about it. The Symphony of Fate is difficult. Based on studying for 2 hours a day, it takes 5 years to barely produce some flavor. The other few people heard the conversation between the two. They also have a clear understanding of the difficulty of the Symphony of Fate. Meanwhile, in Yi Chen's live broadcast room. Due to Yi Xueer's previous explosive performance in playing discs, the audience has already gathered more and more. Not long after, it had climbed to as much as 400,000. When everyone heard Bai Lu compose a Symphony of Fate, they all feel a bit absurd. Bai Lu, do you want to hear what you're saying? That's a Symphony of Fate. This piece of music is not only extremely lengthy, but most importantly, to express the strong emotions in the piece, it requires extremely high playing skills. You don't have to be so nervous either. I don't think we need to use the artist's demands to restrain Xueer. That's right, I feel like she can play some tunes, which is already excellent. Accompanied by barrage of comments from netizens. The little girl has already adjusted her sitting posture. In the moment she sat upright, a sense of elegance naturally arose from her. While Yi Xueer adjusted her state, Bai Lu's gaze was instinctively drawn away. She discovered for the first time that her daughter not only had extremely beautiful facial features. Surprisingly, there is still such an elegant and introverted, calm and intellectual temperament on the body. When realizing this, Bai Lu's heart was greatly shaken. She never expected that one day she would describe her 5-year-old daughter with composure and intelligence. However, the fact is that Bai Lu couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It seems that I have wrongly blamed my husband before. My own daughter has become so excellent unconsciously. Meanwhile, Yi Xueer's demeanor was captured by the camera. After the little girl put away her previous scattered wildness, everyone felt very amazed. They also didn't expect it. Xueer is so young that she actually has another side. This has made many people start to cheer up. Maybe the little girl can really give them some surprises. Wait until Xueer adjusts her state. Her small hands were placed on the black and white interlaced piano keys. Then suddenly pressed down. Dang dang dang. In just 1 second, a series of notes sounded. Bai Lu was stimulated all over. Xueer just showed her hand. It's like hitting Bai Lu's soul. This dense string of notes seems to reach the soul directly. Next, there is another string of similar notes. Bai Lu's body has already developed goosebumps. She couldn't help but grab Chen beside her. A pair of fair palms exert a lot of force. Chen could see that Bai Lu was suppressing the shock in her heart. It seems that I agreed with the little girl to keep a low profile. She has long been left behind by her little brain. After the prelude ends, Xueer's hands began to dance. Those 10 crystal clear and fair fingers. It's like a sprite dancing in the forest. The black and white keys on the piano began to flutter. A series of melodious and weighty notes kept ringing. The Fifth Symphony of Fate. This piano piece that has been passed down for generations was perfectly performed by the little girl. Her body may be small. It seems to contain endless energy inside. At this moment, everyone stood frozen in place. In the host's live broadcast room, Wei Chen and Li Chengxian suddenly stood up. Both of them stared fixedly at Xueer in the camera. After more than 10 seconds, the two finally exchanged a glance. In their eyes, there was a strong sense of shock. Ning Kaier and Li Ai had already covered their mouths. Although they are not aware of the technical content in Xueer's performance. But this does not affect their innate feelings towards music. At the moment when the prelude sounded, the two of them already realized it. Things seem a bit complicated. But no matter how they imagine it. But they still didn't expect that things were even more terrifying than they had imagined. Xueer's hands may be small. But she relied on her own speed. Perfectly concealing this hard injury. Even professional musicians listen carefully. I couldn't even detect any flaws in her. Wei Chen and Li Chengxian even had a sense of absurdity. If they close their eyes and listen, I'm afraid you might think that someone is playing the original song. But the two can also guess. This situation is unlikely. After all, where the camera is visible, there is only one piano placed in Chen's living room. This is also enough to prove that the song was really played by Xueer. As they read this, the shock on their faces grew stronger and stronger. When the song reaches its climax, Xueer surprisingly closed her eyes. She seemed to have merged with the piano in front of her. Just relying on the feelings in memory. Play every note in the piece flawlessly. This scene shocked over 400,000 viewers who were watching the live broadcast. Didi Shen, should we exaggerate like this? Are you sure this is not a pianist's performance? Why does it make my blood boil when I listen? Is this a piece of music that a 5-year-old child can play at this point? It has become art in Xueer's playing. I felt fate, such a grand piece of music. Help, Xueer is only 5 years old. How did she resonate with this song? I once had the privilege of listening to Lang Lang's live performance of the Symphony of Destiny, and Xueer's expressive power was not even weaker than him. Is it so exaggerated? What kind of fairy daughter is this? I was wrong. I used to think that Xueer might not have learned much from following Chen. After all, our knowledge has become shallow. It seems that Chen's educational ability far exceeds our imagination. For a while, surprisingly, many people began to admire Chen.